Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We're going to get started in just a few minutes, just making sure everyone else can hop on. We'll be back just here in a minute or two. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for your patience. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I saw some more folks come on, so I think we can get started here. My name is Shanara Bratt. I am the Director of Public Affairs with the Department of Procurement Services here at the City of Chicago. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. We do host these every other week, and our focus is making sure that you all know how to do business with the City of Chicago and have a place to learn and ask any questions and get to know our deputies as well, who typically lead these webinars. So with that, I am going to pass it over to one of our deputy procurement officers, Benjamin Ho, and he's going to walk us through the topic of today's session is the buying plan. So super exciting. We're in Q3, and the most recent one did just get published. So yeah, with that, I'll pass it over to Ben.
Thank you, Shay. Welcome to our webinar today. Can you go to the next slide, please? Shay, can you move to the next slide? We're experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties here. So hang on just a moment. All right, thank you.
You got it? Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you. Sorry, everybody.
no worries. My name is Benjamin Ho, Deputy Procurement Officer for our IT and Shared Administrative Services Unit. I'm here to talk to you about the buying plan and some basics about how to use the buying plan to grow your business opportunities. Just a little bit about our department before we begin. That we are the purchasing authority for the city of Chicago. Our mission is to deliver fair, transparent, and innovative procurement solutions that strengthen city government and create economic opportunities for businesses and residents. We focus on transparency, competition, supplier diversity, and innovation. Next slide, please. All right, so today we want you to go away with a clear understanding of how DPS operates, how you can compete for city contracts. We're going to dive into the buying plan where you can see upcoming opportunities. We want you to also understand about certifications for minority, women, and veteran and people with disability certifications and resources for you as suppliers, and how you can connect with DPS. Next slide, please. So DPS is the contracting authority for goods and services for the city of Chicago, as I mentioned earlier. There's about $10 billion of annual procurement spend. We support 30 plus departments. There are over 700 opportunities and 5,000 plus certified and registered businesses. And we are fully committed to equity, transparency, and value for the city. Next slide, please. DPS is in the middle of a procurement modernization, and we are changing the way the city buys to increase value, innovation, and expand opportunities for our vendors. Some of the things that you will see us in the process of doing over the next few years is strategic sourcing, category management, technology and automation, supplier engagement, and continuous improvement. Next slide, please. So now, the buying plan is one of the main pieces by which you, our vendors, can understand what opportunities exist for city contracting with us and multiple other sister agencies and as well. So the buying plan contains a 15-month forecast of upcoming procurements, and it includes opportunities not just for city departments, but other partner agencies such as Chicago Public Schools, Park District, and others. You can use the buying plan to identify upcoming solicitations for goods and services, and once you have done that, you can then prepare your team and align business development efforts so that you can put the best bid forward for your company. And this is updated periodically. I believe it is on a quarterly basis that the buying plan is updated. It allows you to plan ahead and grow your businesses based upon planning for city contracting. Next slide, please. So why should you look at the buying plan? It allows you to forecast opportunities so that you can see when and what we are going to be buying. You can prepare early so that you're not scrambling when you see a bid come out. It allows you to plan ahead to connect with, if you are a prime, to find your subcontractors, and if you are a smaller business, to find primes that you may wish to work for or with. This allows you to grow your business, and it also strengthens outcomes for the city by supporting equity, transparency, and value. Now, I would strongly encourage you to scan this QR code, and this will take you straight to the buying plan. And in case you don't have your camera ready, this QR code will take you to chicago.gov/DPS/buying plan. This will get you to our buying plan. We will also visit it live after this presentation, and we can go through it, and as we do so, there'll be an opportunity, questions and answers. Next slide, please. So how can you use the buying plan? If you want to follow this 5-step process, the buying plan will become much more useful to you. So the first step is to use it to identify opportunities. You do this by reviewing the plan procurements and opportunities. And then second step is to then research after you've identified items that are of interest to you. You want to understand the needs, requirements, and upcoming timelines. Number 3 is then you prepare for certifications and partnerships. So if you are a small business and you are not certified, you may need to get minority certified with the city. You may also need to be certified by a supplier. For example, if you're looking to sell goods or engage in professional services, let's say in supporting technology, often you need to be authorized by a manufacturer, or you might need to be authorized by a software provider, so that they restrict their partners to those who are who have passed the certification on their particular software. So those kinds of things, if you see that coming up and you're looking to participate on those opportunities, this gives you an opportunity to do those preparations ahead of time, so that when the bidding actually comes, you'll be prepared to do so. Number 4 is then to start to meet primes and partners and build relationships. And number 5 is then finally, as the bidding deadline gets closer, to submit competitive proposals. And again, we have the QR code for the buying plan. I encourage you to take a picture of it, store it in your phone. Next slide, please. Different programs and initiatives. So this is now stepping away from the buying plan and into some of the steps of doing business with the city of Chicago. What these programs and initiatives are meant to do is to expand opportunities and build a stronger Chicago for all. So there are multiple programs and initiatives. There is um, the capital plan, the small business initiative, mid-sized business initiative, and target market. These are color coded in the buying plan, and we will be showing you this color coding when we get to the live walkthrough of the buying plan. So the capital plan is a multi-billion-dollar initiative to allocate spending to improve the quality of life for all Chicagoans by investing in infrastructure and city facilities in all neighborhoods. So this is a large program that covers many different kinds of projects, and we'll take a look at some of those in the buying plan. Small business initiative. So these are opportunities that are set aside for construction projects that are under $3 million in total costs. Mid-size business initiative is set aside for small to mid-sized businesses, and these projects go between $3 and $10 million. And then target market opportunities are for city certified businesses that are minority or women owned. And you do need to be certified at the time when you bid on this. A pending certification does not count. So if you're looking for one of these, make sure you go ahead and start the certification process ahead of time if you see one of these in the buying plan that you're interested in. Next slide, please. So I mentioned the buying plan includes Chicago plus sister agencies. Actually, it goes even beyond sister agencies. It goes to multiple local units of government. So we have the Board of Elections, Cook County, public schools, city colleges, the tollway, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, the state chief procurement office, the park district, as I mentioned, housing authority, transit authority, forest preserve, public building commission, and Metropolitan Pier and Exposition Authority. All of their upcoming solicitations will be listed in the buying plan. Next slide, please. And so here is kind of a summary of the different kinds of things you might see in the buying plan. We have multiple departments represented from aviation, streets and sand, water management, public buildings, information technology, human services, fleet and facility, and there's varying dollar amounts of that would be available as opportunities. The quarter that they would become available for bidding is estimated here. Please note these are estimates. Nothing will be earlier than those estimates, but it is possible that some things may come a little later than projected. But this still allows you to plan roughly when you should be targeting something for. Procurement types. So IFB is invitation for bid. These are awarded based on low cost. RFPs are requirements for requests for proposals, and those are awarded not just on cost but on best value. So looking at the quality of the team, the quality of previous engagements, and the overall proposal along with price. RFQs qualify you for for vendor pools, these qualifications they're considered contracts with the city, but there's actually no work for them until you get what's called the task order request assignment. And then those will generally require you to bid. So if you look at the RFQ, it's like, think of it as a dance ticket. You have a ticket to the dance, but you don't have a dance partner yet. You have to find your own dance partner amongst the various opportunities that will be bid to that pool. Next slide, please. So as you do business with the city, we encourage you to use our website as a go-to resource for your business so that you can learn about current bid opportunities, the buying plan. You can research awarded contracts. This is very, very helpful if most of the things that the city is buying has been bought before. If you look at the previous contract, you'll have an idea of what the scopes are and what the pricing was. And this will be very helpful for your market research as you consider the opportunities from local government. There's also a vendor directory, certification information. You can sign up for DPS alerts and news, which we encourage you to do if you have not already done so. There's many resource guides available and a calendar of training and workshops as well as videos of previous training and workshops in case you can't attend in person. Next slide, please. Oops, so more services and programs. So we also run a number of other programs here. Salvage operations is where the city disposes of assets at their end of life. This is run by the Department of Procurement Services. We have electronic bidding. It's important that you learn about how to bid electronically, and we have many resources available online to assist you in doing so. And procurement improvements, I mentioned modernization program previously. We also have an LGBT business resource page available on our site. So that should bring us to the end of our introduction to the buying plan and basics of doing business with the city. I'm going to stop and see if there are questions. If there are no questions, we'll proceed to the buying plan and walk through that. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand in the webinar, and and then Shay will recognize you and take the question. So the hand raising icon is towards the end of your icons. It's next to the smiley face if you have any questions.
And while we wait for questions, I can also pull up just so you all can see and make sure you can navigate to the new buying plan. Let me just pull that up really quickly. All right. So if you are on the main chicago.gov page, you can navigate here to government and go straight to our website, procurement services, on the government dropdown. from there. Many of those resources that Ben shared are all right here. So I'm assuming quite a few of the attendees today saw this webinar via the DPS alerts. But I just want to point this out again to make sure that you're signed up for these. Any of those solicitations that are advertised come out every single week on our bid opportunity list. But today, of course, we're talking about the buying plan, which these are related. This is just a little bit more updated on a weekly basis. And as Ben stated, the buying plan is updated quarterly. So our Q3 buying plan was just released this week, and it's searchable here. So just wanted to make sure everyone can see it live. You can find specific departments. You can navigate through it. You can see the different programs and initiatives that Ben also covered, contributing agencies, and navigate through it here, department by department. So you can see here what is coming up for Q3, but even some opportunities into the new year. So I just wanted to make sure everyone saw how to get there, and if there are any questions, of course, feel free to
So
feel
here's
free
an
to ask.
example, Shay, thank you.
No
So
problem.
the green ones are color-coded ones are part of one of the programs that I mentioned. If somebody wants to know what the green color code, which program that is, how would they find out? We would need to
Yeah, that's a great
navigate
question.
back to the key.
So some of them are listed right here in the actual buying plan. This one is the target market. So if you see green, that is the target market, which is defined earlier on on that initial page about programs and initiatives. So you can see the green here, that's target market. The light blue is small business initiative. The gray, there's capital plan. And then the darker blue is mid-sized business initiatives. So you'll see SBI and MBI and target market for the most part. So if we go back down, let's see here. So here's an example of mid-sized business opportunity listed here. And then the small business initiative opportunities are here in light blue. And this is for the Department of Aviation. I'm not seeing any questions pop up.
So one of the things I would like to point out as we look at this page is then you can see the first column is what is the general procurement area, whether it's commodity, whether it's services, if it's a job order contract, vehicles and heavy equipment, etc. And then you'll have a description, that's a little more detailed of what is the opportunity that's coming up. And then there's an estimate of the dollar amount of this contract. And then the next item is the number of months that the term of the contract will be. So 60 months is a 5-year contract. 36 months is, of course, 3 years, etc. And the ad date is the estimated date of advertisement for this contract. So this is what you want to target. You want to be ready by that date. Some of them have TBD, so there's no date. But these ones that say fourth quarter of 2026, the earliest that they would come out, of course, then would be fourth quarter or October of 26. So the target, of course, would be between October and December, although it can spill into next year. What I would suggest as a good rule of thumb is that if you are interested in a particular opportunity, Make sure you've also signed up for DPS alerts, and when that quarter arrives, start checking the DPS alerts to see if the bid is going to be advertised. But you should already have your team kind of ready. I know it's not always possible because you want to see what the exact scope is before you finalize your team, but you should have some idea based on the description who your team possibilities are ahead of time, so that when this is advertised, you only will have a month or so to put everything into place. So at that point, that can be very time consuming and stressful. So any time you have the prep work ahead of time will be to your benefit. And here you have more descriptions in the next column about what it is that this contract will entail. So here it's truck drivers, laborers. You can start to build your contacts for those if you're interested in that. And then funding source. So there's city funded, which is non-federal, federal and sometimes state funded. And those will have more restrictions, particularly federal contracts. So with federal contracts, if you've worked in them before, it's very helpful in understanding the different requirements that those may have.
We did receive a question, Ben.
Yeah.
It says, where do we go after we've determined we're qualified for a project? What is the next step? Do we download a submittal or find more detailed information regarding the project?
Okay, so that's a good question. So once you identify this, let's say it's for the custom signs one that we're looking at right above the green, and we're interested in that. So where would you find this when it actually comes out for advertisement? That's a good question. You can go to our site at chicago.gov/, e-procurement. And then we can show you that, and this will be a listing of all active procurements now. You go there, Shane. You can also go here through the icons as well. So doing this, if we go back, e-procurement, so this takes us to the iSupplier portal site. And if you are not already registered, we would encourage you to get registered. This is separate from any certification that you might do as a minority vendor. This registers you to bid online. So the first thing you need to do if you have not already done that is to then go to login registration, and then you can sign your vendor up. You will need a W-9. We're not going to spend time to go through how to do this. There are tutorials here, and there are videos that will walk you through it. Let's click on current bids, and then click on that. So this is a list of the active solicitations. Let's give it some time for the system to pull it up. You can see their list. They're sorted by event is actually the different kinds of things we buy. They're sorted by that. And then you want to pay attention to the supplier response due date. The advertisement date and the start date are always the same. This is the time you want to pay most attention to, because this is when your bid is due. It may get extended because of addendas and other changes to the solicitation, but you shouldn't count on it. You need to be ready to respond by that time. The compliance goals will tell you this should match what's in the buying plan, whether it's a target market, if there's no stated goals, or if there are minority goals here, it is specified here. Your contract will have more detail. Your solicitation will have more details about it, but this will give you an overview. Then you can also see this column that says protected markets. If it's targeted towards a specific group, it will be mentioned here. And then deadline for questions, very important. There are pre-bids for virtually everything that is advertised. And you can ask questions at the pre-bid, but many of them will also want you to ask the questions in writing. And those questions must be received by this deadline for questions. Your questions will be used to formulate any addenda that might pertain to your solicitation. If you want to look at the actual solicitation itself, you see there's a pair of eyeglasses at the end. Let's click on any one of those. And this will give you a chance to download the solicitation. You don't need to register or anything. If you click on the PDF file, and it will take a while, and then it's a PDF for you to view, and you should save it to your computer so that you can start to look at it. This will include all the terms and conditions as well as the proposed scope of the contract, any MWB requirements as well. And it's important to follow all directions that in this document. Otherwise, your bid could be rejected as non-responsive. So thank you for that question. Are there other questions as well?
Thank you. I think with that, I'm not seeing any. Oh, sorry. Someone have a question? Maybe not. Well, thank you all for joining. I hope this was helpful. We do have an additional, we have an upcoming webinar on, what is the date? Can't believe it's already towards the end of July here. We have an upcoming webinar. Let me get you the title here. But as I mentioned, they are every twice a month, so bi-monthly, and we have them on a variety of topics to ensure we're covering different ways of how to do business with the city. On the next one is on August 12th. And that's focused on contracting 101 and how to respond to an RFP. So it's the perfect next step that does really even answer to that question that we did go over into even more depth on what to look at in the RFP, how to make sure you've got a strong bid response, and the same way you registered for this one, you're able to register that way. But as I mentioned, if you haven't signed up for the DPS alerts, make sure you do so. That comes out every Monday with any updates to the events that we put on, these webinars, how to sign up. There are a ton of resources, so we want to make sure that they're ready and available for you. And like I said, they do come out every Monday. If you have any questions, I'll put that link in the chat one more time just to make sure everyone receives that. But appreciate everyone coming on, and thank you, Ben, for walking us through the buying plan today.
Thank you. Have a great day.